Welcome guys to Math Made Easy with Mr. T.
Today you're gonna learn solving linear equation using multiplication and division. Let's try solving linear equation using multiplication. Let's solve x over 3 equals 8. X divided by 3 equals 8. How are we going to solve this equation? Our main goal is to isolate the variable, and in this case, our variable is x. X divided by 3 equals 8. How are we going to isolate that? By doing the inverse operation, which is multiplication. We are going to multiply 3. When we multiply 3 on the left side, we must also multiply 3 on the other side to make the equation balance. That cancels 3, and that leaves us x isolated or alone. Just bring down x, bring down the equal sign, and the answer 8 times 3, which is 24. That's it. Let's try it again. Solving linear equation using multiplication. Let's try to solve m divided by 4 equals 2. Again, what is our first step? That's it. Isolate the variable m. How are we going to isolate variable m? Yes, you got it. By multiplying 4 on both sides. We multiply 4 on both sides so that the equation is balanced. Always remember, what you do on the left side, also do it on the right side. That cancels 4, leaving us m isolated or alone. Then we just have to bring m down, bring the equal sign, and the answer 2 times 4 is equal to 8. That's it. One more time. Let's solve b divided by 2 equals 5. Again, we need to isolate the variable b. How are we going to do that? By multiplying 2 on both sides. And that cancels 2, leaving us b isolated. Just bring down b, the equal sign, and the answer 5 times 2, which is 10. You got it! Now it's your turn solving linear equation using multiplication. Try to solve t divided by 4 equals 6. I'll give you some time to answer this. Let's solve this. T divided by 4 equals 6. Our first step is to isolate the variable, and in this case, our variable is letter T or T. How are we going to isolate T? By multiplying both sides by 4. That cancels 4, leaving us T isolated or all by itself. Let's bring down T, the equal sign, and the answer to 6 times 4, which is 24. You got it! Again, your turn. Gonna solve linear equation using multiplication. R divided by 5 equals 5. I'll give you some time to answer this. Let's solve this. R divided by 5 equals 5. Again, we need to isolate the variable, which is R. How are we going to isolate the variable? Correct! By multiplying 5 on both sides. That cancels 5, leaving us R isolated or alone. Let's just bring down R, the equal sign, and the answer to 5 times 5, which is 25. You got it! Let's try solving linear equation using division. Let's try to solve 3x equals 9. 3x equals 9. How are we going to solve this equation? Again, we are going to isolate the variable x. Since this equation use multiplication, we are going to undo the operation by dividing. We are going to isolate x by dividing 3. Again, do not forget, what you do on the left side, you have to do on the right side, which is you are going to divide 3 also on the right side. Just like that. That picks or that cancels 3, which isolate x or leaves x all by itself. We just have to bring it down. Bring down the equal sign and the answer to 9 divided by 3, which is 3. You got it. Let's try it again. Let's solve linear equation using division. Let's solve 5b equals 25. How are we going to answer this equation? Again, we need to isolate the variable. And in this case, our variable is b. How are we going to isolate the variable b? By doing the inverse operation, which is division. We are going to divide 5 on both sides. Again, we do this so that the equation will be balanced. What you do on the left side, always do on the right side. So when we divide 5, we cancel 5, leaving us b isolated or alone. Let us bring down b, the equal sign, and the answer to 25 divided by 5, which is 5. You got it. One more time. Let's solve linear equation using division. Let's solve 8n equals 24. Yes, we are going to isolate the variable n by dividing by dividing 8 on both sides. That cancels 8, leaving us n all by itself. N, bring down also the equal sign and the answer to 24 divided by 8, which is 3. You got it. Now it's your turn. Solving linear equation using division. Try to solve 7c equals 49. 7c equals 49. I'll give you some time to answer this. Let's solve this. Let's solve linear equation using division. 7c equals 49. Our first goal is to isolate the variable c. How are we going to isolate c? By dividing 7 on both sides. When we divide 7 on both sides, we cancel 7. That brings us c isolated or alone. You just have to bring it down, bring down the equal sign, and the answer to 49 divided by 7, which is 7. You got it. Your turn again. You're going to solve linear equation using division. Solve 9d equals 36. I'll give you some time to answer this. Let's solve this. Solving linear equation using division. We're going to solve 9d equals 36. First, we're going to isolate the variable d. How? By dividing 9. Again, when we divide 9 on the left side, we have to divide 9 on the right side so that the equation is balanced. That cancels 9, leaving us d isolated. We just have to bring it down, bring down the equal sign, and the answer to 36 divided by 9 is 4. You got it. Now, you're going to solve linear equation using multiplication and division. You are going to solve this. In a piece of paper, you're going to answer 1 to 5. Number 1, 5h equals 20. Number 2, g divided by 5 equals 5. Number 3, 9t equals 27. Number 4, 2m equals 16. And number 5, x divided by 3 equals 3. I'll give you some time to answer this. You can pause this video and answer the given activity. In answering linear equation or in solving linear equation, our first goal is to isolate the variable. Once we isolate the variable, or how are we going to isolate the variable, is depending on the operation. We have to inverse the operation. If the given problem uses multiplication, we have to do the division. If the process is division, we have to do the inverse operation, which is multiplication. Solving linear equation using multiplication and division. Let's check your answers. Number 1, 5h equals 20. First, we have to isolate the variable h by dividing 5 on both sides. Why we divide? Because the given problem uses multiplication. So we have to do the inverse operation, which is division. Again, divide 5 on both sides. That cancels 5, leaving h isolated, which is our primary goal. Then bring down h, the equal sign, and the answer to 20 divided by 5, which is 4. That's it. Number 2, g divided by 5 equals 5. Again, we need to isolate the variable g. How? By multiplying 5 on both sides. Why do we multiply? We multiply because we did the inverse operation of division, which is multiplication. We need to multiply 5 on both sides so that we can cancel 5, leaving us g isolated, which is our primary goal. Let's bring down the equal sign and the answer to 5 times 5, which is 25. That's it. Let's check your answer to number 3. 9t equals 27. Our first step again, or our first goal, is to isolate the variable t. How are we going to isolate the variable t? By multiplying 9 on both sides. That cancels 9, leaving us t isolated. Just bring down t, the equal sign, and the answer to 27 divided by 9, which is 3. You got it! Let's check your answer in number 4. 2m equals 16. Again, our goal is to isolate the variable m. How are we going to isolate the variable m? Since the given is using multiplication, we have to undo it by using division. We have to divide 2 on both sides. That cancels 2, leaving m isolated. Just bring down m, the equal sign, and the answer to 16 divided by 2, which is 8. You got it! And finally, number 5. X divided by 3 equals 3. How are we going to do this? We have to isolate the variable x by multiplying 3 on both sides. That cancels 3, leaving x isolated. Just bring it down, bring down the equal sign, and the answer 3 times 3, which is 9. You get it!